All right. So Ashley, I want to talk a little bit about your story because we've been thinking about the idea of community at Westside. And we've just recently watched you connect so quickly and really so deeply in a way that now we can see some amazing things going on in your life.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about your family, like where'd you grow up and some of those things.
Okay. So I grew up pretty chaotically. My parents were never like officially together.
Okay.
So they like completely separated when I was 6 weeks old.
Okay.
And I grew up mostly with my dad, and he's been married 4 to 5 times. And so I grew up with a lot of different families, and every wife he had kids. So I grew up with a lot of different brothers, sisters,
big
moms. And we had me and my brother. And so it was always, we moved a lot. I went to 4 different high schools, 3 different middle schools, a couple of different, I don't even remember elementary schools, but just moved a lot. And I moved to Oregon when I was 17 on my graduation night of high school to get to know my mom. And so I moved with her right away, went to school. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be. We didn't connect the way that I thought we would.
Oh, okay.
And it was just pretty chaotic again. And so I ended up moving with my grandma. And then I started dating, and I kind of went on the path of being in a relationship really quick and identifying with that person, kind of lost myself in that person, got engaged, came back to my family, got engaged to him again, came back to my family, took a breather, met a great Christian man. At this point, I was a self-proclaimed atheist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a long time. And so meeting him, I was like so like enamored by his passion. Like I was like, holy smokes, like here's this gorgeous guy like getting on his knees and being humble. And like, I'm like, does he even like know what he looks like and how amazing he is? And he just like really, like I just saw so much self-love in him. And so I kind of wanted like that. But the closer I got to him, because I was an atheist, he kind of let me lead the relationship. So he kind of walked away from his faith to be where I was at, which was unfortunate. But at the time I was like, oh, he loves me. And so I'm saying this because he was my only family at that point. When I went with him, my family completely dismissed me. They thought that I abandoned them. And so, because my mom, I grew up with my dad, she saw me as choosing my dad, even though I had no say in the matter. And so was engaged with him, came back and did things with him, and started living with my grandma. And everyone in my family, there's no believers in my family. And so, yeah, like being an atheist, it's just like the way like they don't fear God, don't love God, don't believe in God. They, have you seen Osmosis Jones cartoon?
No.
Well, it's like this cartoon where like all these cells are in one body and it's like a whole universe. And that's what basically my family believes. And so any like time I talked about my ex with like religion, they're like, that sounds ridiculous. Like they just shut it down immediately. And so, like my whole family is just very spread out. I have family in Arizona. I have family in Texas. I have family here. Nobody's connected. I have a relationship with everyone in my family, but none of my brothers have any relationship. I have 5 brothers biologically. And then I consider still my stepbrothers and sisters, the longest relationship my dad had was 10 years. And so I still consider them siblings.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay.
Big family.
Yeah, big family. Yeah. Lots of change. So you've been through a lot, and I mean, we've just watched you come into a great spot right now, and it seems like God's doing some big stuff in your life. It's pretty exciting to be a part of it and watch it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's amazing to feel it. It's life-changing.
Good. Okay, so what's your day-to-day like?
Okay, so I spend time in the Word every single day. I am a morning person. So I wake up.
Yay for morning people.
Yeah, it's really good. Working at a coffee shop has really, really helped me. So I usually wake up anywhere from 5 a.m. till 8 a.m. and I pray right away. I spend time with my father. I'm a huge reader. I love to read. So like I try and read at least 2 pages of the Bible every single day. I just like literally like pray and I'm like, what do you want me to read today? And then I open it and I just read those 2 pages and then I'll journal. And then I have like this little like coffee routine. I like oil pull while I do my coffee. And then I just like have a really slow meditative morning, go to work out, all day I'm praying. Like I'm talking to our Father like all day, every time I drive, every time I eat, even when I'm at work, I'm a waitress. So it's like pretty chaotic. And I'm like, Lord, like, please give me patience to deal with these people. And like when it's really busy, I'm like, please give me the strength and the speed right now. Like I just really am. I feel like one of my like specialties or my special powers or whatever, however you say it, is like prayer. Like I'm like so into that. And so, yeah, working out. I walk my dog every day. I do prayer walks and I walk with her. So I'm just no headphones, just walking out, talking out loud, probably like crazy.
They think you get your AirPods in.
Right. And then, I just read I read like 4 books at a time. I'm just like one of those.
Okay.
So like I'll read one of another book and then I go to bed at like 9 or 10 p.m.
Okay.
It's very chill.
Where did you learn to pray like you're talking about? And, this conversation, this calling him our Father, where did you learn that stuff? So as a little girl, I'm not really shy anymore, but I used to be really, really shy. And I don't know, I just like always talked out loud to myself. Like I would hear something in my head and I would like answer and talk. I've always been like that. And so like all the time people are like, who are you talking to? Before I even knew God. And so when I came to God, I would literally get on my hands and knees and pray. And then I was like, this feels good, but like I can't do this everywhere I go. And like, if I have stress or any built up energy, I like to vent. I'm a woman. I love to talk about it. And I'm like, it's not good to gossip. It's not good to complain, but God wants to hear everything that you're going through. And so literally like, I look at it like, I'm a huge writer. I love to journal. And so I look at it as just like, if I'm feeling anything, whether it be good or bad, I'm like, Father, like, can you please help me with this? Or like, what am I meant to learn? Or like, what's going on? Or like, can you deliver me from this? Or like, can you like deliver me from like the enemy? Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I trust you. And when things are going amazing, I'm like, thank you so much. Like you did this. This is you. Like I celebrate with you. Like it just, I don't know. It's just natural. And like the more you do it, the more fun it gets. Yeah. And it's just constant conversation. Like he's always listening. So like, let's always be talking. That is awesome. I love that. That is really cool. Well, you've already kind of answered a little bit. I was going to ask you about your faith background. And you've shared a little bit about that there really wasn't much of
Not at
one.
all. Yeah. My dad like was super against going to church, actually. Thought it was a scam. My mom thinks the same thing. Yeah. I'm like, where's the scam?
Yeah.
I'm like, can you explain further? They've never touched a Bible in their lives. So I'm like, I understand. Totally.
So that is just, it's unusual then that you would be on this new journey. Tell us, who was some of your faith influences? Who jumped into?
I can tell you like right off the bat, Michael Todd in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Transformation Church. I watched his relationship goal service. The first one he presented, and I'm a huge note taker. So I see this guy and I'm like a very animated person. And so when I see another animated person, I'm like enamored. I'm like, whoa, like you can keep up. I love it. And so I'm watching him. I literally pause it like 3 minutes in. It's 9 o'clock at night. I go to the store, get a notebook, get 100 pack of gel pens. I'm like, I'm taking notes. Didn't even know what a sermon was. Like I don't have no lingo because I'm like, so I'm watching him and he's like talking about God, talking about Jesus. I'm like, okay, like he's passionate. Like, okay. I'm like a little uncomfortable. At the end of it, he does the Jesus prayer. Okay. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I have nothing to lose. Like at this point, I was so numb. I was so dead inside. I was like literally, like that's the best way I can put it, like dead. And I was like, my last ditch effort, like, let's try it. And I remember it was October 3rd, 2022. I said that prayer and I lost it. Like I remember like I had my laptop on my bed and I was on my knees and I was taking notes. And like, as soon as I said that prayer, I like fell to the ground and I was just bawling. Like, I was like, I've never, just the way that he talked about like giving it to someone. Cause like I have a really messy background and like a lot of people are afraid of that. They don't like mess. And like a lot of my family, like they hide it, And so to have the invitation to give that to somebody else, I'm like, please take this from me. Like, I don't want it. Like, if you can take it and renew it, like, I'm going to try. Like, I am definitely the kind of person where I pour myself into things because when I'm curious about it and I'm like, I'm so curious about feeling normal and healing. I'm so curious, like, why not try? And so, Michael Todd completely, definitely brought me to Jesus.
I mean, that's something that God so honors. He honors obedience. He puts something in your path or in your heart. And if you respond to it, then he opens up this whole new world.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing.
So true.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing in your life.
So true, 100%.
What sparked you to want to be baptized last Sunday?
Ooh, okay. Jesus Revolution movie, 100%.
Jesus Revolution movie?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, actually, my first time ever coming to this church was a baptism day. And I mean, I'm an emotional girl. And so I walk in and I'm gonna be honest, like the worship music was like I'm like uncomfortable. Like I don't know any of the songs. And then I see people getting baptized. I cried throughout the whole service my first time. Like it was so emotional. I didn't even know what it meant at that point. And it was so emotional. So that was in my head, like, wow, that's means something. It's powerful. So that was like the first like little, like, you know, like little mustard seed. And then I go see the Jesus Revolution movie and I'm just like that scene where when he gets baptized, he like falls and like sinks. I was like, that sinking feeling, that's my whole life. Like I felt like that. And I'm like, wow, like his entire life completely changed. And I've already felt my life completely change. But I'm like, is there another step I can take? And so it's so funny because when I saw that at the end of the movie, it says like they still do those baptisms at Pirates Cove, I think it's called. And so I was like looking to go do that. And then this, like literally the same weekend as here, they had a baptism scheduled there. And so I was like trying to figure out which one I should go to. And I was like, why not go to like my home church? You know what I mean? And so I was feeling like a little nervous because, you know, it's always that question, like, am I ready? Like, am I perfect enough for God? You know?
Yeah.
Even though it's like literally to be cleansed. And so it was just sitting in my heart. Like for the full week, I was like nervous, but excited. Like the devil be devilin'. Like he's like, you're too dirty. Like you're not ready. Like keep doing this. Like you need to wait longer. Because I have a friend who's been a Christian her whole life, never been baptized. So I was like, I'm only 9 months in. And so I start driving to the church. I'm bawling like already. I get in here. I'm like, okay, like I'm okay. I get back room, bawling uncontrollably. I'm like, God, like you are so good. Like you brought me here. Like you did this. Like I'm so excited to like just feel you even closer. Like I can't imagine feeling you even closer, but like this is an invitation even more. Like my heart's already open, but like let me rip it open even more. Like it just seemed like everything was pointing to do that. And I am so happy that I did.
We are too.
Thank you.
It was awesome to watch. Yeah. And I mean, we're just seeing that joy in you where, you know, we just know God is alive and working in your life. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. That's like the biggest compliment I feel like anybody can receive.
Oh, that's great. I remember being here on the first day you were here and because it was a exciting day, baptism, met a whole bunch of people. And I just remember you walking out, I was in the lobby, you asked a question of some kind. And I think I connected you with somebody to just kind of talk about things. But then as soon as I turned around, you're all of a sudden talking to all these people. And then the next week you're back and you're hanging out with people and I'm seeing all these connections happen. And then that led into your baptism. And I'm just curious, how do you feel that fellowship, you know, that connection with other believers, your experience with, you know, making friends in the church, how has that impacted your journey?
It's definitely impacted me because seeing that, first of all, nobody's perfect and everybody's dealing with different sins and different temptations and different, just like everything's different paths, different curiosities. And the more people you meet in church, it humbles you. Yeah. Because like you can be suffer. I guess suffering is the wrong word, but you could be dealing with something and you could feel like it's a really, really big deal and then meet someone that's dealing with something and you're like, whoa, like I have it easy, or like vice versa. And like just talking about having that fellowship and having that compassion, you're like, I have support. And like coming to a church and then being baptized 3 months later and having 9 of my own friends that I made through this church support me is such an incredible feeling. Having people that are like-minded is such an incredible feeling. Having people that you can share your testimony to and they can appreciate it and really understand what you're saying and you don't sound crazy or woo-woo is like life-changing. Like you're like, oh my gosh, I feel seen, heard, and known. And so it's like, it's the biggest difference in the world because I spent 6 months watching sermons online every Sunday. And it was amazing. It was wonderful. But coming to church and seeing people that you know, hugging them, singing songs with them, taking notes and comparing and just like talking about the service throughout the week or throughout the day is, you just get so much more from it.
Yeah.
So
there was this moment that I took a picture of actually, because when you were being baptized, there was this whole row of girls kneeling at the front of the stage with their phones to take the picture. And I was like, that is community right there. Snap, took that picture, because I was like, I love when people can feel like they belong.
Yes. Because I've always struggled with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it is so beautiful. It's like, there's no words. Like, people keep asking me, how do you feel? And I'm like, I can't put words to it because it's an emotion I've never felt. It's like, what is the word? Agape? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is that right?
Agape. Yeah.
I'm like, I just recently heard that word, but it must be that, because love is so overused. I feel like that it's like, it's just people showing up for you with no interest in gaining anything, just to be there for you, to love you, and that they feel loved by you effortlessly is just like, it's family. And like, coming from a really chaotic family, having that is, I don't know, for the first time, I feel like I belong. I feel that really love me. Like, it's hard to say, but like, sometimes I feel like my family doesn't love me. And if they do love me, it's because they feel like they have to. Like, I don't feel like they work to love me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's because, I don't know, it's just different.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you as a part of our family here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything that you feel like is next for you, like that is on your horizons? Any new seeds God's planting in your heart?
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel really, after getting baptized, like, I feel really, really pulled to be a part of that team for some reason. Like, I want to be a part of like people that do that. Like,
Be careful. My wife runs that team. She's going to be like, all right, you're on.
I don't care if I'm the person handing a person a towel or like sitting with them, like being in that room, just like that before prayer, all those people, I was blubbering, like I was sobbing, and I was just like, I have never felt so much love in that moment in my entire life. And so I was like, that is what I want to do. And also I feel like, I don't know, I really feel like, I don't think prayer is like a spiritual gift, but I feel like prayer, like I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm like, I want to pray for people. Like, I'm like, send me your prayer requests. Like, I just love talking to my Father. Like, I just love that. And I'm like, I want to talk about everything and everybody. And like, so yeah, like the baptism group, and like, I don't know.
Sweet.
I'm just waiting. I'm like waiting to be led by God.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you for sharing. And, one of the things we are here for you. We are ready to help you take your, we try to let people go at their own pace, and so sometimes I know we get a little bit overzealous. We're like, hey, you could try this, and this, but, but I think it's important for you to know that, when you're ready, we are going to help you plug right in, even if that's this weekend.
I'm ready for baptism. I would love that. I would love to like hear where you see me as, because like I'm still like, can't believe that I'm here at all sometimes. And I'm just like, can't believe that I am the way that I am doing the things that I'm doing. So I'm like, I feel like I do need the step of like encouragement of like, I see this in you. Yeah. And like, and then go take that back to our Father and be like, okay, is this true? Like, do you see this in me too?
Yeah.